Anyways, today we're going to talk about Garrett Soldano. And if you don't know who he is, so let's go ahead and say he's probably one of the bigger LARPers in the Republican Party for Michigan, or at least person who's trying to get there. So we're going to go ahead and talk about him in just a bit. This one is from Kidderdoodle, said, oh, guess I should post this here too. I colored the collaboration fan art. This is the one for when me and Vice Rhino did our video together, and I think it looks absolutely outstanding. It even got used in the thumbnail for said videos. The next one we have here, yeah, what the fuck is this thing? This is from Tisla. Said, I just saw this. I figured I'd make a fan art of it. This is an estranged escape experiment. Jeff Slime Suris gone wrong. For those who don't know, there was a version of my character that was submitted earlier that had Jeff the Killer's face posted on it. And I guess this is where this gets us. And I'm terrified. This last one is from Ivana Dragmeyer, and it is another work-in-progress piece that we will be seeing more on later. As always, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, if you haven't subscribed already or hit the bell notification icon, please consider doing so, and hit the link down there that will take you to Patreon so that you can support the channel that way if that is something that you so desire to do. With that all said, let's go ahead and get right into the actual topic itself. This is the video that made me want to actually cover him in the first place. Anybody who begins a thing on Twitter with, "Hi, progressive leftist," I'm sorry, that's automatically going to catch my attention. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Soldano, what do you have to say?
Well, hi, progressive leftist.
Hi. How are you doing? Also, I love that you've got the country music background. I too have a background music of currently music sampled from the N64. And I like that you begin your thing with chopping wood, because that's necessary. You'll find that that's actually a theme for every video he does on his channel for the most part. Well, not channel, his Twitter. But let's see here.
Well, hi, progressive leftist.
Hi.
If your idea of a man is sitting around in your skinny jeans, drinking your Starbucks Grande Peppermint Mocha made with soy with whip, talking about how great Biden's economy is.
That was a very specific order. Do you think he orders that? Do you think he actually orders that one? Holy fucking shit. How's it going, Dylan? Again? Thank you so much for the raid. Where are you? We are talking about Garrett Soldano right now, who's running for Michigan. We are covering one of his things at the moment. Confetti Spooky Time. Thank you for the follow. Lord Filthy, thank you for the follow as well. For anybody who's not familiar with me, my name is Suris. I do political content here on YouTube and Twitch. So yay. Soldano lost his primary? Aw, poor guy. Too bad we still have a bunch of propaganda to go through. Said, think I'm subbed to you on YouTube and not Twitch till just now? Well, there we go. There we go. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and continue his LARPing. After Sepsin, thank you for the follow. Craze King, thank you for the follow. Someone Important, thank you for the follow. And Aaron Torres, thank you for the follow as well. Literally all of you. Every single one of you. Let us continue.
And how great Biden's student loan forgiveness plan is.
How great the student loan forgiveness plan is. So here's the thing. The student loan forgiveness plan isn't that great, but it's better than nothing. And that's about as far as I'll get with it. Is he just promoting gender roles? I think he simps for gender roles. I think he simps for them. Like, what is it, like 20,000 of loan forgiveness in some cases, 10,000 in some other cases, and it's mostly only if you took government loans specifically, privatized loans they can't really do much about. It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. So my criticism of that is that it didn't go far enough. Well, yeah, that's where my position is as well. It didn't go far enough. It didn't do enough. It's certainly helpful for a handful of people, and for that, I'm not going to be upset. But it definitely didn't do enough. Just Joe Biden's entire motto, it's better than nothing. I feel like that's a good, thing for most of his presidency, right? Better than nothing. That's not a great legacy to have, mind you, but, it's better than nothing. Anyway, let's continue.
And you keep being you. I'm going to be me, which is a God-fearing American who loves this country, who loves this flag, that just wants to get up every single day and do an honest day's work to provide for myself and for my family without the government getting involved.
All right, so what do you think he means by the government getting involved? What do you think? Because when I hear that, I immediately think taxes. That's it. Just taxes. I just want to provide for my family without the government getting involved. Okay, cool. How does the government get involved in your life? Are you married? Then the government's already involved in your marriage. But, what do you mean specifically? I bet you I have an idea on that. We'll get to that here in a second. But not only do we have the very specific Starbucks order that he's definitely never ordered in his entire life, and then this whole, if you think that's a man, then you do you and I'll do me. Oh, okay, cool. Who cares then? What was the statement you made? You just said if you have this opinion and I have that opinion, then you do you and I'll do me. Oh, okay, then why the fuck did you even speak? Why did you say anything? Obviously, the thing you said was important enough for you to record an entire video about it. Why does it have to be you do you and I'll do me? That feels kind of like a limp-dicked, almost useless endeavor at that point. His shirt's at least a size too small. You can't do yourself on Twitch. That's against TOS. But you can have someone else do you on Twitch, and then you'll get back after 7 days.
Remember that.
Remember that. All right, so can I just make a comment here? By burying his hatchet into the stump that he's using for cutting more wood, he's just dulling his hatchet unnecessarily and creating more work for him later, because you do not want to leave your hatchet out in the elements. You put that in a shed or you take it inside. I say this as somebody who owns a hatchet. I say this as somebody that has to actually cut wood off of my property. All that explains to me is incompetence. Said wearing safety glasses would make sense when cutting wood. True, but here's the thing. It's not as important when you're doing just log cutting, because when you're cutting firewood, you can close your eyes. You know, once you get your axe halfway in the air, you know when it's just going to terminal velocity down. You don't necessarily need it the same way you would for, a saw that it has a constant spray of dust coming up. But, yeah, no. Okay, so. Now, I have a question. If he doesn't want the government getting involved in what he does, and he wants to make an honest day's work, an honest day's living, I'm willing to accept that. Do you know what he doesn't do, though? He doesn't do an honest day's work or an honest day's living. Guys, can you guess what the Soldano family practice is? Can you take a guess for me as to what their family's business is? Chiropractic. It's chiropractic. You know, the bunk pseudoscience that actually was started because a guy heard a ghost tell him about it? That one? Yeah. That's his job. That's what he does. Vanguard Christie, thank you very much for redeeming your points for an hada. You fucking degen. Yeah, like I said, quackery. Yep. Now here's the thing. He doesn't... what now? Oh, you didn't know that? The origins of chiropractic, quote, medicine were literally a guy said he heard about it from a ghost and then began practicing it. He thought that if you aligned the spine properly, you would unlock special healing from the body, not unlike aligning chakras. I'm surprised if I did a video on it years ago. So I learned about the chiropractic controversy from Illuminati. Yep. Says validating. Now, here's the question here. If he wants to make a video saying that he doesn't want the government getting involved in his life, I'm perfectly fine accepting that. But not when his chiropractic business had to receive a $103,000 loan from the federal government. With that amount plus interest forgiven by the federal government. Now, I don't know if it's just me or if most politicians happen to be hypocrites. I'm not 100% certain. But I find this to be absolutely fucking hilarious. Personally. The government must only give me monies. Saddam, excuse me? Yeah, I know, right? Isn't it neat? Isn't it neat? Isn't it great? So, that's not all, though. That's not all. Not only do we have a person saying, I don't want the government involved in my life, and yet needs to have the government involved in their life, not unlike when, we have certain libertarian writers who say that we don't need the government doing anything for humans at all, and yet they have to survive off Social Security. I have no idea. Atlas shrugged about that one. But if we go over his video again, there's a statement that he made in it, very specifically, a particular type of person he wanted to disparage. Let's listen to it again.
Well, hi, progressive leftists.
Yep.
If your idea of a man is sitting around in your skinny jeans, drinking your Starbucks Grande Peppermint Mocha made with soy with whip, talking about how great Biden's economy is.
Made with soy with whip. Now, what does that mean? Typically, you could just take the on-the-face bit of that, like, oh, okay, he's just talking about a particular drink from Starbucks that he definitely has never ordered ever in his life before. Or, everybody knows the term soy boy, right? Everybody's familiar with that term? Soy in general is used all the time as a disparaging comment towards people. Can you take a guess at what the, he ran in Michigan. So, can you, for me, could you tell me the most valuable crop grown in Michigan? The most valuable vegetable that comes from Michigan soil? Well, I can tell you right now it's corn. However, the second one is soybeans. Isn't it great to disparage one of the main exports of your state's economy when you are trying to run for your state's legislature? Isn't that just showing you know exactly what you're talking about the area that you happen to be running in? Boy, howdy. With how important soy is to that state's economy, it sure would be a shame if somebody who hated it happened to be the person in power, wouldn't it? That'd be real awkward. Isn't that one of the first things you should look up when you run for office? Should be. Should be. Of course, he actually lost his primary. So now what he's trying to do is he's trying to do interesting things, like engaging in anti-vax rhetoric. So let's go ahead and hear some of the stuff he posts on his profile where this is concerned. Do you remember when we were told that the only solution to the pandemic was to get the vaccine? Now, I'm going to play this and comment on it, knowing full well that the last time I did this, apparently, I got a channel strike. So let's see what happens.
Save the school year by all of us who can get vaccinated.
I can barely hear that.
Doing just that.
Okay, there we go.
Well, hey, worst governor in the history of Michigan, that was you from last year pushing a faulty narrative again, telling people that if they got this procedure done twice along with the booster, that they wouldn't catch this virus and spread it.
Hold on, wait, hold on. Is that what you said? Let's hear it.
Save the school year by all of us who can get vaccinated. Doing just that.
That's not what she said then. She said we can save the school year by having everybody who can get vaccinated be vaccinated, because a vaccine lowers your risk of transference, lowers your risk of catching the virus, and lowers the severity of the virus if you happen to get it. That's what the vaccine does. That's been public knowledge about the vaccine for a long time. The only people who have said that the vaccine does not do those things in that order are people who are trying to spread misinformation about the vaccine. Vaccines do not always give 100% immunity. Sometimes they give very strong secondary response for your system. Because all a vaccine does is bolster your immune system. That's its job. In some cases, it can grant pure immunity to something, but some viruses are strong enough to where it's only going to grant protection. It is more shield than Thunderdome. But what else does he have to say about that, aside from strawmanning the literal things that were said in the video that he played, that he could have shown a part where she actually said that? Now, mind, if she actually said that, that's a thing that we can talk about, but if he had every opportunity to scour through everything she said the last year, and did not show that, that's on him as a presenter.
Well, hey, worst governor in the history of Michigan, that was you from last year pushing a faulty narrative again, telling people that if they got this procedure done twice along with the booster, that they wouldn't catch this virus and spread it. And people like me stood up at the time and said, whoa, wait a minute, that's not true. And we got deplatformed for spreading misinformation. We got censored and fact-checked. And lo and behold, last month, you got this virus, even though you had this procedure done twice, along with 2 boosters.
Yeah, because again, we're talking about a vaccine that increases your immunoresponse. That is the job of the vaccine. That is what it does. The problem here is that we have a display of something called binary thinking. Can anybody in the chat give me a definition of binary thinking? I'm going to give it anyway, but I figured that it's a thing that would be fun if we happen to do this as a back and forth for a little bit. Maybe make there to be a little bit of, visual on there as well. But basically, the idea behind binary thinking is somebody believing that something either is true or is false. They don't understand that there are degrees of this in between. So, what do I mean by that? So let's say that I go, the vaccine works, and you go, well, either the vaccine works or it doesn't. Okay, cool. Well, the vaccine works, and you go, well, the vaccine doesn't give me pure immunization, so the vaccine doesn't work. And I go, no, the vaccine gives you a higher degree of immunization. That's how vaccines work. That degree can get closer to 100% depending on the virus we're dealing with, but by and large, it gets you closer to that number, but it doesn't get you to that number in all cases. AK Cruiser, thank you very much for the follow. And to which you go, no. If I get sick, the vaccine didn't work. And I go, okay, but did you have to have a respirator? Did you have to go to the hospital? Or were you just in a lot of pain stuck at home? And you go, well, it sucked. It was about like a cold, but... And I go, okay, cool. So the vaccine worked. It did its job. It helped you. It lowered the severity of what you were dealing with. Because we saw what unvaccinated COVID looks like, especially in immune systems that were already weakened. We saw what that did. We dealt with that as a society. And you go, no. That means the vaccine doesn't work. And it doesn't matter how many times I point out that I'm arguing not that it either makes you immune or not, but that it makes you more immune, that it makes your immunoresponse stronger. No matter how many times I explain that to you, you still go, but I still caught COVID, but I still caught it, but I still caught it. No matter how many times you repeat that, all you're showing is that you are engaging in binary thinking. Either it is or it is not. The idea that there's a degree to this doesn't make any sense. If I were to throw this in a gaming sense, let's take a deck from a card game. I could tell you that my, let's say here, my AC deck works. It's a Simic Lands Matter deck, and I can tell you it works. And if you pick it up and for 5 games the deck does not work, it doesn't draw what it needs to, and you lose every game, and you come to me and says, the deck doesn't work, and I go, no, it does, we're talking about 2 different things. You're arguing that the deck that I have here is not functioning because it didn't function for you. But the deck still does function. It does what it's supposed to do more often than not. Unfortunately, you hit the statistical end where it was not, as opposed to more often. And that sucks, but that's how statistics work. Thinking in binaries is to believe that the entire world exists as either ones or zeros, ignoring the fact that there's an infinite number of numbers between 1 and 0. But let's continue.
So again, we've been proven yet again to be right. And I will continue to call you out every step of the way and hold you accountable for all the misinformation and all the political science and polling data you've been pushing. So how about you let your husband know to call to get your boat ready, because the red tsunami is coming.
The red tsunami is coming. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. That'll be very interesting. To give it enough chances for something to happen, it's an inevitability. Yep. Yep. Oh, but don't worry. Don't worry. Let's go ahead and listen to another one where he talks more about COVID, because apparently he's very fixated on COVID.
We cannot let people weaponize our personal information and use it to restrict our rights.
Why does he begin every one of these videos by cutting a piece of wood and then walking back? I have a theory, personally. I feel like this is what happens when your masculinity is so absolutely sterile and unstable, and you have no confidence in it, so you have to put on this giant mask every single time. It's the biggest example of small dick energy you have. Sterile, you mean fragile? Oh no, it's fragile and sterile, because there's nobody that's going to catch masculinity from this guy.
Hey again, worst governor in the history of Michigan. Remember when you weaponized the health department because the state Supreme Court ruled in favor of the people, saying that every executive order that you did was unconstitutional in those executive orders? Do you remember how you told us that we couldn't buy paint and mulch because we die of COVID? And oh my goodness gracious, you can go on a kayak, but you can't go on a motorboat. And God forbid you touch that gas station pump handle because you die of COVID. I cannot wait for the red tsunami in November 2022. Get your boat.
Get your boat. Red tsunami. Get your boat. Red tsunami. Say it as many times as you can, and eventually we'll agree with it. So I'm actually curious which specific situations he's talking about there, because I wasn't actually aware that people in Michigan weren't allowed to get gas. I wasn't aware that people in Michigan weren't allowed to ride certain boats. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe that one actually is incorrect. Maybe he's right. This one I actually don't know. See, red tsunami, bro thinks every state's gonna turn red. Yeah, do you remember the last time we had a red tsunami? And then Biden got in office? Let's see here. I'm seeing if I can find anything where that happened. I'm trying to see if I can find anything where that actually happened. So you remember when you couldn't buy toilet paper or hand sanitizer? I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything at all here. So the guy has the vibes of a used car salesman. So there was no spikes of votes or anything. I mean, this is what happens when you have mail-in votes and they're counted second. That's kind of what you expect. Let's see here. Was Michigan not allowed to buy gas? Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything there. Still too early to call, I guess. I have no idea what you're talking about, Cosby. As Michigan's fretted over gas prices. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about this. I'm seeing sales tax on gas getting suspended here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So maybe he's just lying. Who knows? I have no way to tell at this point. This guy's a walking definition of Poe's law. I can't tell if it's parody or if it's real. But I know it's real because I know the surrounding stuff where he's concerned. Awkwardly. So you personally have worn gloves every time I've gone to the store gas station? So Biden may not be getting what we want done, but I can't argue that Biden is getting stuff done, some of which I'd like to him not have done. Others I'm glad he would have done. Yeah, it's fair. The communists will invade America. In 2022, it looks almost like a joke from 1968. Yeah, McCarthy, he's certainly got a legacy here. Of course, he's got more stuff here. He's got a tweet here that says, "Do you remember when 5 governors, Gretchen, Newsom, Murphy, Tom Wolf, and Andrew Cuomo, killed thousands of the elderly by putting COVID-infected elderly into nursing homes?"
I'm in Bay City today for the ribbon cutting of SK Siltron's new high-tech facility.
Well, hey, worst governor in history of Michigan, do you remember?
Holy shit, he's not chopping wood! Holy shit, he did it! He made a video without chopping wood. I'm so proud.
You and your other flunkies, Gavin Newsom, Cuomo, Phil Murphy from New Jersey, and Tom Wolf, all of you put COVID-infected elderly in a nursing home, which resulted in the deaths of thousands of our elderly. You remember when Governor Cuomo took the fall for all of you, because at the time that was really hot in the press, and then Governor Cuomo got accused of that sexual harassment, so the media switched all their attention to that, and they slowly swept everything else underneath the rug with all of you killing all of those elderly? Now we know.
Did they kill the elderly? Is that how that works? If hospitals have no room and they are having to find other places to put COVID patients, is that the same thing? Like, granted, yeah, Cuomo did have all the bad shit happen to him because, well, the sex pest allegations. Well, let's see here. He's talking about the nursing home problems. So, here's the thing, though. Is his entire wardrobe Under Armour? Probably. A lot of machismo-starved people do that. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Cool. So apparently he's lying. Landsling, grilled by Republicans during the heated exchange Wednesday, the state's public health director mounted a vigorous defense of Michigan's COVID-19 nursing home policy, calling allegations it helped fuel a high death toll baseless and groundless. Robert Gordon, director of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, testified for a third time before the legislature's Joint Select Committee on the COVID-19 pandemic, where Republicans have spent months investigating the effects of executive orders issued by Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer, including a policy for hospitals to discharge medically stable seniors with coronavirus to nursing homes that had isolation units and sufficient personal protective equipment. It was a tense, sharply partisan back and forth. Republican critics of Whitmer's handling of the pandemic argue the state should have created COVID-only facilities for seniors who were released from hospitals. Whitmer's inexplicable actions put elderly citizens at risk, can only be described as disappointing and reckless, said the Republican Lawton in heated exchanges. The Whitmer administration policies put coronavirus-infected patients in nursing homes. But Gordon argued that new state and national data shows that community spread, high numbers of cases in communities surrounding nursing homes, is the primary predictor of the virus's spread inside nursing homes, which has slowed in Michigan. States like Florida and Massachusetts that created separate facilities for infected seniors have abandoned that approach and has designated certain nursing homes as regional hubs. To the extent that our nursing home policies mattered, they reduced deaths compared to other states. Gordon once again presented data that he said were evidence that the state's efforts ultimately saved lives. Among the highlights he cited, drawn from the Center for Health and Research Transformation and the University of Michigan and the U.S. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, among every 1,000 residents in Michigan, 69 died of COVID throughout August. A rate that falls between the highest death rate, New York's at 180.2 deaths per 1,000 residents, and the lowest, Alaska's at 5.7 deaths per 1,000 residents. The data illustrates that the state's initial explosion of cases or the virus's community spread has since declined. Because the state was hard hit, our nursing homes were hit hard as well. Michigan's proportion of nursing home deaths among all COVID-19 deaths falls below the national average, 33.2%, compared to the 38.6% nationally. In the week ended August 23rd, 1.8% of Michigan nursing homes had 3 or more COVID cases, compared to 4.5% nationally. In Michigan, a lower percentage of residents in specifically assigned regional hubs that accepted COVID patients died from the virus than did residents in other nursing homes. And despite widespread claims that Republican lawmakers frustrated families, no nursing homes were forced to actually take COVID-19 residents. Oh. Man, that's awkward. That one's awkward. Imagine going onto the internet and just telling lies. Who would do that? Who would go on the internet and just tell lies? Man, this feels weird. I do enjoy the term forced. No, what? No! Like, okay. It's one thing to show the data that's like, you know, our nursing home numbers were actually better than most of the rest of the country, so even if you're right, we saved lives, not costed them. However, the laws didn't actually force anybody to take COVID patients. Wow. Spreading lies on the internet, Garrett. Look at you. I wonder if he's going to do another wood chopping video in response to this. I'm surprised we finally found one where he didn't. But that's about it for that there. I figured that's enough to chew on where he's concerned. We got a dude who's got to chop wood in almost every video, constantly wears Under Armour, and is just desperate to seem like the borderline cusp of machismo. And yet, there we are. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and as always, everyone, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon, maybe even check out the Patreon if you want to support the channel, and insert end of video tagline here.